Registreremo questo incontro perché così lo possiamo mandare anche alle persone che si sono iscritte al webinar ma che non riescono a partecipare in questo momento. Per cui vi chiederei, ecco, di accettare la registrazione, poi se volete potete accedere alla webcam oppure potete insomma tenerla spenta. E questo incontro si svolgerà una prima parte in italiano e poi una seconda parte in inglese. Qui collegato con noi c'è Oliver che rappresenta la University of Western Australia e quindi farà una presentazione, parlerà dei programmi offerti dall'università. E dato che siamo in pochi qui collegati live al momento, sentitevi pure liberi di fare qualsiasi domanda volete, se qualcosa non è chiaro, senza problemi, o in inglese o in italiano, e potete eventualmente anche scrivere nella chat. Quindi adesso inizio io. Io sono Giulia e rappresento qui Obiettivo Lingua e inizio condividendo il mio schermo molto brevemente, giusto per darvi una prima panoramica introduttiva sui temi trattati nel nostro webinar. Eccoci qua, appunto, come dicevo, oggi il focus dell'incontro è l'Australia e in particolare ci concentreremo sulla University of Western Australia che si trova a Perth. Poi se non sapete bene la geografia dell'Australia, dov'è Perth, dove si trova il Western Australia, non vi preoccupate che Olivier nella sua presentazione ci spiegherà tutto quanto. Allora, giusto una parentesi brevissima su chi siamo noi di Obiettivo Lingua. Noi siamo un'agenzia che da 25 anni si occupa della diffusione delle lingue straniere attraverso programmi di studio e lavoro all'estero. Come vedete in questo grafico, i programmi sono veramente molto vari. Si va dai corsi di lingua, preparazione alle certificazioni linguistiche, ai programmi viaggi studio per ragazzi, ai percorsi per professionisti, ma il focus di questi webinar sono i programmi Gap Year, in particolare della missione diretta all'università e dei programmi propriamente detti Gap Year oppure Study Abroad, di cui ci parlerà Oliver. Che cos'è il Gap Year? Anche qui di che cosa stiamo parlando? Gap Year è un termine ombrello che abbiamo scelto per rappresentare, per racchiudere tutta una serie di programmi che possono essere anche molto diversi tra loro, sia come tematica, sia come durata. Per cui quando si parla di gap year, anche se il termine indica l'anno sabbatico, non implica necessariamente stare via per un intero anno solare per 12 mesi, perché ci sono varie tipologie di programmi che possono essere più brevi. Parliamo di un minimo di 2 settimane fino a una missione diretta all'università, per cui sono dei programmi che possono effettivamente durare anche 3 o 4 anni, a seconda delle necessità e degli interessi di ognuno. Qual è lo scopo di questi programmi Gap Year? È quello di aiutare i ragazzi di quarta e di quinta superiore, soprattutto magari anche gli studenti che hanno finito la triennale, di avere le idee un pochino più chiare riguardo le varie possibilità che si presentano loro. Questo perché i ragazzi, quando finiscono soprattutto le superiori, si trovano di fronte a tutta un'ampissima gamma di scelte e molto spesso tutta questa scelta può un po' disorientare. Per cui l'idea è quella di presentare una serie di percorsi che possono essere di interesse per i ragazzi appunto di quarta e di quinta superiore che magari già non hanno le idee chiare, già non sanno che cosa vogliono fare nella vita, ma che pensano di aver bisogno effettivamente di prendersi un periodo di tempo che, come dicevamo prima, può essere più o meno lungo, per capire che cosa effettivamente vogliono fare nella vita. Quindi lo scopo dell'anno sabbatico è proprio quello di prendersi un momento per staccare dalla quotidianità, per staccare da quello che è la vita come la conosciamo adesso, per effettivamente avere l'opportunità di conoscere meglio se stessi, quali sono i propri interessi, le proprie intenzioni e anche che cosa effettivamente si vuole fare nella vita. E molto spesso queste cose si scoprono solamente provandole, facendo esperienze all'estero, quindi uscendo dalla propria zona di comfort, dalla propria quotidianità, per capire se effettivamente una certa esperienza, un certo percorso di vita è come ce lo immaginiamo, fa per noi o no. Per cui l'idea è quella di raccogliere tutta una serie di esperienze che i ragazzi possono fare per scoprire se stessi e un pochino meglio qual è il loro posto nel mondo. Una brevissima panoramica sulla storia del Gap Year. Quando è nato negli anni '60, quindi nell'immediato post-guerra, e lo scopo qual era? Lo scopo era proprio quello dello scambio culturali tra paesi diversi per prevenire future guerre. Adesso l'obiettivo appare abbastanza chiaro da questa frase. L'obiettivo è quello di far conoscere anche culture, paesi, usi, costumi e lingue diverse, perché effettivamente è solamente viaggiando che si scopre il mondo, si apre la mente e si scopre molto non solamente sul paese dove si va, ma anche su noi stessi. Adesso qui in questo schema abbiamo racchiuso, i nostri programmi Gap Year, poi in particolare nella presentazione di oggi ci concentreremo su 2 opzioni che sono le ultime. In ogni caso li abbiamo messi in ordine anche di durata, ecco. Possiamo optare per un percorso che prevede un corso di lingua con una certificazione linguistica alla fine, che può sempre essere molto utile, sia se si desidera fare poi dei bandi di concorso, se si desidera accedere all'università. La University of Western Australia organizza anche proprio dei corsi di lingua per gli studenti, per cui non necessariamente uno studente si può iscrivere per frequentare proprio i corsi universitari, ma può eventualmente scegliere anche di fare un corso di lingua proprio presso il centro linguistico di Ateneo, ecco, per usare un termine italiano, e migliorare le proprie competenze linguistiche, poi conseguendo anche una certificazione internazionale. Altre esperienze che si possono valutare, insomma, come esperienze gap year, sono delle esperienze di tirocinio e volontariato all'estero. Con Oliver dopo vedremo anche quali sono effettivamente le possibilità di lavoro mentre si è in Australia con con un visto studente. Oppure ci sono degli altri percorsi più brevi come dei professional certificates, quindi dei corsi più brevi che affrontano delle tematiche molto specifiche come può essere il business, il marketing, project management. E nell'incontro di oggi ci concentreremo invece principalmente in queste 2 opzioni, quindi o l'iscrizione diretta all'università, quindi il nostro ospite insomma rappresenta la University of Western Australia a Perth, oppure dei percorsi pathway. Nel caso specifico si tratta di un programma molto interessante che prevede appunto un semestre di corsi universitari proprio dell'università. Quindi si è iscritti come degli studenti, però effettivamente non è necessario poi frequentare l'intero percorso di laurea, ma si può fare proprio un'esperienza breve di un semestre oppure 2 semestri, studiando i corsi universitari assieme agli altri studenti dell'università, ottenendo quindi dei crediti formativi. Il bello del programma è che effettivamente si può scegliere tra una varietà molto ampia di corsi, non necessariamente collegati allo stesso percorso di studi. Per cui se uno studente ha varie passioni, vari interessi, gli piacciono materie magari molto disparate come la psicologia e l'ingegneria, in questo programma effettivamente si ha la possibilità di scegliere vari corsi che non necessariamente fanno parte dello stesso curriculum scolastico. E quindi l'idea del programma è proprio quello del gap year per antonomasia, perché uno può fare un'esperienza breve e capire se un percorso di studi fa per lui o meno. E un'altra opzione è quella comunque di combinare questa esperienza di study abroad con anche un corso di lingua inglese preparatorio, un corso di lingua inglese accademico. Ecco qui, quindi brevemente, quello che ho già anticipato sostanzialmente. Adesso passerò la parola a Olivier che ci parlerà dei vari requisiti di ammissione per l'università e in particolare ci concentreremo su questo programma Study Abroad della University of Western Australia. Adesso passeremo all'inglese, se c'è qualcosa che non è chiaro, tranquillamente sentitevi liberi di interrompermi o di scrivere una domanda in chat. Okay, Olivier, thank you very much for your patience and for being here with us today. I know it's very late in Australia, so thank you again. We really appreciate it. And I just gave a brief introduction of what you're going to talk about. So now you can start your presentation, which is very interesting and rich of information. It's up to you.
Lovely. Thanks, Julia. Okay, well, I'll share my screen as well. And let me know if that works. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. So my name's Olivier, and I'm from the University of Western Australia. And I'll be telling you about what you can do if you were to come to Australia to study. And then leave some time for some questions afterwards. So the university is one of the top 100 institutions in the world. We are ranked 72 in the world in the ranking, which is called the QS, and it ranks 10,000 universities. So it's a very lovely place. We are in a lovely location, and the university itself has got, sorry, go next one. Okay, so the university is by the water. It's got a lovely campus of 78 hectares, so it's very broad, and we're just blessed to be in a lovely part. So for those of you who've not looked at the map of Australia, first of all, we need to show you where we are. So Perth is on the west coast, on the Indian Ocean. We are closer to Jakarta, Singapore, and Manila than we are to Sydney and Melbourne. We're also the first city. Between the summer season, there is a direct flight from Rome. Otherwise, you can go via Dubai as well. All very easy to get to. So when people show the map of Australia, they only show a few cities, and people often think that there's a desert, but it's not quite. Even state of Western Australia, which is very big compared to Europe, we do have towns and cities, and of course, because of the size, we also have some great isolated landscapes, which is great thing to see. For the population of the state, we're about 2.5 million. So we do have a lot of space. All right, but the Perth city is a great city. In terms of the weather, it's fantastic. So right now we are in autumn, in the fall, and since January, it has rained once. We've just had lovely weather non-stop. And so 2.6 million with what's called the most livable cities in the world. It's also a very desirable study destination, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. And it's got 12,000 kilometers of coastline, and it's also the world's sunniest city with around 300 days of sunshine every year, with a great climate. It is also a very safe city. Okay, so 50% of the population was born overseas. So myself, my parents, my wife, except for my kids, everybody's born somewhere else. And this is very funny. So in Perth, out of 3 people, 2 are born overseas. And the person who's born here has the parents born overseas. So it's a very mixed city. Because of that, we've got lots of the food and different things to look at. But it is also a very rich city. We have got a great economy, particularly in the state of Western Australia. We are 10% of the population, but we are 35% of the GDP, the gross domestic product. So it's a well-maintained city, lovely, near the ocean. And this is the port of Fremantle. And we welcome students to come and stay with us. So today I'll talk about the 3 types of courses that you can do. You can come and do an English course, and we have English programs for all levels. We also have the gap year program. And for those who want to stay longer after the end of gap year, if you want to stay your 2nd and 3rd year, you can do the full 3-year bachelor degree in Australia. And then master's and PhD if you want. It's all very possible. Right. So I am from the center, so English Language Center of the university, of which I am the director. So we have around 400 students right now, and the students come from 46 nationalities, and they come to do English language courses. So we're just on the water, so towards the other side of the pond. And then we do have what we call ELICOS courses, which stands for English Language Intensive Courses for Overseas Students. So we've got courses for beginners all the way to advanced through LCE, Language Communication Essentials. We also have EAP programs, and then we also do IELTS examination preparation programs. And these are courses very useful for students. Then for those who want to do a bridging course, that's a bit more intense. That's very much a university preparation course. And that course is either 10 or 20 weeks, depending on the English language level that the students currently have. So first of all, we would need to find out what is your level of English, to find out where you fit in within the program. We have an online test, which is free, and that just helps us determine the pathway and the plan. And we also organize study tours for schools who want to come. During the summer season, we do also welcome lots of study groups. So for the general English language courses, we run 5-week terms. So you can see for 2024, next Monday, 29th of April, we'll be starting term 4. Students usually come for a minimum of 5 weeks. And I guess if you come from Italy, it's a long way. You don't want to come for just 1 or 2 weeks. So 5 weeks is the minimum. Some students come for 5 weeks or 10 weeks or 15, up to 75 weeks. But here we've given you a calendar so you can see if you start on term 4, 29th of April, or if you start in term 6, which is the 15th of July, you could do 20 weeks and you would finish in December 6th. So that helps you work out the plan. In terms of the fees, and I've got some translations in euros, but I talk in Australian dollars. The advantage of the Australian dollars, it is 35% cheaper than the US dollar or the euro. So usually right now, 0.60 cents euro is $1. 60 euros is $100. So when I quote Australian dollars, you just take away 40% and then you've got the price. All right. So the programs that we teach are full-time. And then the course is 20 hours per week for the sample timetable. And you can see that we start at 8:30, we have a break in the middle, and then we finish at 1:45. So students have plenty of time for the rest of the day to stay on campus, to play sports, or if they want to work part-time, depending on the visa, that's also an option. Then we have the bridging course for module 2, and this one is a bit more intensive, and that's 25 hours per week of study. So again, intensive. And because you are in Australia, you're in the country, our teachers do not speak Italian, so the instruction is done in English, which is why you have to think in English very quickly, and that's why you improve quickly. That's why you go to an overseas country, because the immersion makes a difference. Because when you finish your school, then you go back and you catch the bus or the train, and then you go to your homestay family, or you buy a sandwich or a burger. Everything is in English, and that's why we do have students progressing very quickly. So the language center itself is about 3 kilometers from the main Crawley campus, and we are not very far from downtown Perth. So I've got some more pictures. So we are down in Claremont, in this where you have the blue star, and we are walking distance from the main thoroughfare, where there are lots of buses, and we're also walking distance to the train station, as we have trains and metro as well. So here we are, 2 campuses, Claremont campus, and the bigger campus is the Crawley campus. For English classes, English courses, mostly they are conducted on Claremont campus, but we also have the bridging course on the Crawley campus. Then you can see to the left of the Crawley campus, a big park, which we call Kings Park. It's the largest park in an urban city. It's way bigger than New York Central Park. And then in the background, you can see downtown Perth, the CBD, as we call it, which is the central business district. So the campus itself, like many Australian universities, we are a multidisciplinary campus. So we've got nearly everything. We start from architecture all the way to zoology. We've got law, we've got medicine, we've got science, we've got architecture, and so on and so forth. This is important because the fact that you have everything on the one campus also allows you to pick different subjects. And for students who come for the gap year, very often they're not sure what they want to study. So they use the gap year as an opportunity to try different disciplines, different subjects. And we are quite okay if you want to pick something from the business school or something from science and something from architecture. That is absolutely okay. So as a multidisciplinary university, this is the list of all the programs that we offer. And you can see that you can choose from those. Usually, students will choose 4 units per semester. So if you come one semester, you do 4 subjects. If you come for the whole year, because your English is already quite good, then you would do 8 units. Whatever you will study in Australia at university will be recognized in Europe, including Italy. Australia is a signatory to the Bologna Convention. So the way that in Europe you can travel to do an Erasmus program in France or Spain or Germany, when you come back to Italy, you will be given credits. You'll be given ECTS. And that's the same that will happen when you come to Australia. If you do a 1-year program, you will walk away with 60 ECTS. And then if you do 1 semester of university studies, you will have 30 ECTS. You can then come to a university in Europe or America and have them validated. And we've got some partners, for example, in Italy. We work with Cattolica and Sacre Cuore. We have got Bocconi. We also have a partnerships with Politecnico. So if you are to do some architecture, again, it would be very easy to get your transfer. Right. So
excuse me, Oliver, can you please go back to the other slide? I'm going to translate it as it's very important. Ok, thanks. Quindi, come vi avevo anticipato nella presentazione e come anche sottolineato adesso Oliver, il campus è multidisciplinare, per cui all'interno dello stesso campus si possono studiare diverse materie, non c'è un campus per ogni disciplina, per ogni corso di laurea. E il bello del programma Gap Year organizzato dalla University of Western Australia è che appunto tra tutte queste materie uno studente internazionale che desidera frequentare solo un semestre oppure un anno accademico può scegliere i corsi che preferisce. Per un semestre può scegliere 4 units, quindi 4 corsi. Se sta invece un intero anno accademico, quindi 2 semestri, può scegliere fino a 8 materie. Quindi il bello è che effettivamente uno studente può scegliere un corso di business, un corso di architettura, un corso di legge. È possibile quindi variare molto i vari corsi e quindi fare un assaggio, insomma, delle diverse discipline per capire quale argomento effettivamente è di maggiore interesse per ogni persona. E Oliver ha detto anche un'altra cosa importante, ovvero al termine di questa esperienza verrà rilasciato un attestato, insomma, degli esami sostenuti, perché le università australiane hanno firmato la Convenzione di Bologna, quindi un accordo internazionale tra le varie università per il riconoscimento dei crediti formativi. Per cui al termine di questa esperienza, anche se non si ottiene comunque un titolo di studio australiano perché non si frequenta l'intero percorso di laurea triennale, si ha comunque la possibilità di tornare in Italia e di avere questi crediti formativi universitari riconosciuti. Questa quindi è una cosa molto importante, poi lì ovviamente dipende dal percorso di laurea che si andrà a scegliere dall'università, però comunque l'esperienza non è fine a se stessa, ma è un'esperienza in cui si possono comunque ottenere dei crediti formativi universitari che poi possono essere riconosciuti anche dalle università qui in Italia. Okay, thank you very much. Just a brief translation because that was a very important point.
Sure. Thank you, Julia. Thank you for the translation. So when we try to organize programs for students, the first thing we need to work out is what is the level of the English for the student. So if you are able to study at a high level of English, written, spoken, listening, and speaking, then we would generally organize for students to do program 1, where straight away you will be studying at university with Australian students. So the way the university is organized in Australia, we run semesters. Semester 1 from between February and June, and then semester 2, which is July and November. Students can come for 1 semester or 2 semesters, either one. Generally, Italian students who finish their high school in June, July, there is not enough time to start in July because we start the 17th of July. So for the time you've organized your visa and your FA and your accommodation, generally students tend to come for the February. But it's also very useful because very often students will probably need to have a package. First, they will do some English to improve the level of English, and then they will do 1 or 2 semesters. For students who just want to spend 1 year abroad, and this is where the program is very popular, we do a mix, program 2, which is a mix of English language followed by study abroad. So if you have your exams results in middle of July, then some students will come in August or September, October, or November. And then your length of your English course will be corresponding to your needs. If you need 3 months of English, you come in October. If you need 6 months of English, you will come in August. And if you just need 5 weeks of English, maybe you can come in January. And that's how we organize. So in terms of your requirement of English, students need to have equivalent of IELTS or TOEFL 6.5. Okay, so if you have 6.5, it means your English level is high and you are ready to study with Australian students. If you're not at 6.5 or TOEFL IBT 82, then we would get you to do a test, and then we would work out and we would make a recommendation of when you should come to Australia to have a reasonable chance of improving your English to then study with a university program. We would like your university program to go well, and if your English is perfect, then it will be great. But more realistically, we will get you to a minimum level because we know you will continue to improve once you start studying your subjects. So English is necessary, but this is not where you will make the most progress. It will be once you start using it at a different level. All right. The study abroad is cheaper than the normal program. So for the gap year, the Australian dollar is in Australian dollars, sorry, for 24 points, which is the 4 subjects, it's $28,900 for the full year. And if you're just doing for 1 semester, it's 21,000. Then you can also elect to choose just 3 units instead of 4. So if you do 3 units, that's 18 points. That's a little bit cheaper as well. So they're the kind of things that we look at when you organize your budget. Okay. One thing that's also very popular with students is that while you are doing your university program, one of the 4 subjects could be what we call WIL, stands for Work Integrated Learning. And that is like an internship. A lot of students want to get professional experience, and that is something that is available. And we do have a lot of, as I said before, the economy of the state is very strong, and the majority of the companies on the Australian Stock Exchange actually have their headquarters in Perth. And because we're a famous university, they love to have our students, and our students love to do internships. So that is something to keep in mind. All right. So a few more pictures of the Perth city, because I know we've got a great program, but I also want you to think about why you should come and have a look at it. Like I said, the lifestyle is great. So this picture, this is Fremantle. This is literally 5 minutes from my house. And we've got beaches and lots of sports activities. So because of the weather, because of the ocean, you can have a good lifestyle and a lot of fun. So the city itself is always near the water. So we've got the ocean on one side, we've got the hills on the other, and the ocean goes into the middle. And this is what we call the Swan River. And you're always close to it. So big park, sunrise, water everywhere. All right, so that gives you an idea. So you can see that in terms of Fremantle, which is the harbour, to downtown Perth City, we are looking at 19 kilometers. So you can go on the bicycle. It's mostly flat. Then to the left, you can see there's Rottnest Island. It's an island where there are no cars. This is just for people to go and enjoy the holiday. It is also a natural park, so amazing diving, swimming, surfing, windsurfing. And then to the right of the picture, you can see the international airport, which is very convenient. There is a train that takes you from the international airport downtown Perth, and it's only $5, only €3. Okay, that's the view of the island. On this island, you've got this animal called the quokka. It's a small animal. It's part of the family of kangaroos. And this animal is unique to this island. You will not find it anywhere else. And it's called the happiest animal because it looks like it's always smiling. Okay, so this is the university campus and business school. And for those who are interested in business, we are very lucky that on the first floor, we actually have a trading floor. So it's live Bloomberg with 81 terminals, and students can learn how to buy and sell shares on the share market. So you don't have to learn this from a book, you actually get to practice in real time. So in terms of fees, for those of you who are looking at maybe not just a gap year, but a full year, you can see that although we are a public university, it's not cheap. In Australian dollars, it goes from 35 up to $45,000, which would be 21 to 27,000 euros per year. Now, for students who are enrolling into a full degree, there are scholarships, and these scholarships are based on your grades. So the higher the grades, the bigger the reduction. So for example, students with very good grades, they would get up to $12,000 per year reduction, which is almost a year off. All right, so that's always a good incentive to get great grades and make your parents happy. All right, gap year study abroad. So in terms of the fees, so for 2020...
Excuse me, Oliver, I just want to explain the grant. Quindi avete visto i costi per chi si vuole iscrivere effettivamente all'università in Australia. Oliver ha già fatto anche un po' la conversione in euro, giusto per dare un'idea, però come ha sottolineato sono disponibili anche delle borse di studio, quindi delle riduzioni in base ai voti, per cui effettivamente può essere una motivazione per ottenere voti molto buoni. La riduzione per chi ha effettivamente il massimo dei voti può arrivare fino a $12.000 australiani, per cui effettivamente può essere un contributo molto, molto significativo, ecco, da considerare. Ok, thanks.
No worries. Okay, so this here I've put the fees in euros for the tuition fees, looking at 59 cents euro to the Australian dollar. It changes daily, but give or take, that's pretty much what it's been for the last few years. So for 18 points, 3 units, you're looking at 6,500 euros for 18 points. Yeah, for the year. And then for 24 points, so 30 or 60 ECTS, it's $14,000 per semester, which is 8,727 euros for one semester. So if you do one semester, it's 7,000 euros, and then maybe another 1,200 euros for 5 weeks of English, 10 weeks of English, $4,000 and so forth. So we can easily work out the budget that way. Very part of the program, I guess, would be deciding where you would live. So 3 choices. There's obviously homestay families. It's well organized, and it's not like the UK. We often get students complaining about the experience, and they say, no, we don't want homestay. We've had a bad experience in the UK, and I'm not sure what they're referring to. But generally in Australia, we don't have problems, and students enjoy the experience. It is particularly useful for students while they are doing the English language program. It's a great way to learn about the Australian cultures, the slang, the pronunciation, and so forth. And also because the on-campus accommodation is only available for students who do the full semester. So if you come in the middle semester, say October, all the rooms will have been taken, and therefore homestay family is the only one that's available. There are, excuse me, there are 3, soon to be 4, off-campus, which are private accommodation just for international students, and they're downtown Perth, and they're very popular. And then the university also has a housing database where we can find students, help them to find accommodation. Equally, on campus, we do have 5 residential accommodation on campus. So University Hall, St. Catherine College, St. George's College, Trinity, and St. Thomas More. So they vary in price, but if you look at the price, this is per week, the price per week, but that includes 21 meals per week. Everything is included: electricity, Wi-Fi, 3 meals a day. And because you're on campus, there's no transport cost. You just walk and enjoy. And also they include access to the gym clubs. So this is actually very good value, and it's great fun. Students make a lot of friends. There's always activities. And I invite you to go on YouTube channel of the university YouTube channels to watch all the videos that students make. It's very enticing, and it's a great experience. Okay, and these are pictures of the towers that are downtown for private accommodation. Also very good, except that they do not provide food. So they have large kitchens with many fridges, many storage, and in those apartments, then students need to do their own cooking. One of them, which is called Campus Perth, they've got rooms where you can share 2, 4, up to 6 students per room. So very much like the dormitory. On campus, it's 1 student per room. So a little different. If you are considering looking at living in Australia, the Australian immigration recommends a budget of 24,500 per year. All right, so that's the budget that they're looking to do that. I think it's a little bit misleading in the sense that a city of Perth is much cheaper than a city such as Sydney or Melbourne. But as general guide, this is not a bad thing to do. The other thing I would say about the budget is that if you come for more than 3 months, then you will need to come with a student visa. Now, the student visa allows you to work. And in Australia, young people all work. I've got 3 children, and they've all been working right through their schooling. So my 16-year-old works at the gym club. She was working in a restaurant. My daughter was working in a supermarket. It is very normal for kids, once they are 14 years old, to get part-time jobs. And you would be getting between $15 an hour as a 16-year-old. But once you get to 2021, you would be getting $29 an hour, up to $40 on a Sunday. So given that your student visa allows you to work 40 hours per fortnight, you can actually self-fund the cost of living. So this is something that is different from what you find in Europe, but it's very normal in Australia. So something to think about as well.
Excuse me,
Right.
this is worth a translation.
Sure.
Quindi, ok, thanks. Quindi come ha detto Oliver, lo traduco perché è molto importante. Per gli studenti italiani che vogliono stare in Australia per più di 3 mesi, devono fare domanda per il visto studente. Accedendo all'Australia con lo status di studente, con il visto si ha la possibilità di lavorare fino a 40 ore nell'arco di 2 settimane, quindi per fortnight, come ha detto Oliver, quindi mediamente una ventina di ore alla settimana. È molto molto comune per gli studenti, anche molto giovani, trovare un lavoro part-time in Australia. Parlava Oliver della sua famiglia che insomma dai 14 anni in su i ragazzi, quasi tutti i ragazzi australiani si trovano un lavoro al supermercato o in palestra, insomma ci sono varie possibilità. La paga minima per i ragazzi molto giovani è comunque di $14 all'ora, però per gli studenti più grandi che hanno 21 anni, insomma comunque gli studenti universitari, la paga minima è intorno ai $29 all'ora e se si lavora durante il fine settimana, la domenica, può arrivare fino ai $40 all'ora. Per cui parliamo effettivamente di un contributo molto importante per potersi mantenere in Australia. Poi a Perth il costo della vita non è così alto come in altre città come Sydney e Melbourne, quindi è una città in cui effettivamente il costo della vita non è così caro. Quello che si vede è che effettivamente i ragazzi che trovano un lavoro part-time, che quindi sfruttano questa possibilità data dal loro visto studente, riescono poi a ripagare buona parte delle spese di vitto e alloggio una volta in Australia. Logicamente abbiamo visto insieme i costi perché è una cosa importante da considerare, il budget necessario, però secondo me è altrettanto essenziale ricordarsi che una volta in loco con il visto studente i ragazzi possono trovare un lavoro e che la paga minima in Australia logicamente è più alta rispetto a quella qui in Italia ed è necessaria per comunque far fronte ai costi della vita in loco. Per cui ecco, questo è un appunto da tenere bene in mente. Okay, thanks, Oliver. Up to you.
Lovely. Thanks, Julia. Okay. So one thing that you will get coming to a university such as mine is that there will be a lot of student activities and a lot of support for everything. So all the students in the language center, we've got a counselor, Hela, and we help students with tax file numbers, how to drive, safety concerns, further studies information, accommodation questions, and so forth. But we also have on campus we have a doctor, we have a travel agent, we have a post office, we have a chemist, we have a physio. So whatever you want, you don't need to go very far. It's all on campus. We organize every Friday activities for students. And of course, students all want to go and meet Skippy and then see the wildlife parks and the wombats. And we do that because we know that's very popular. The city itself, we've also got a number of stadiums. So you can see this is one of the new stadiums, which is a few years ago. And we've got rugby, we've got Australian rules footballs, we've got tennis tournaments. There's a lot of activities to partake. Then we also have stadiums where we've got lots of bands coming. So in September, I've got my ticket for Iron Maiden. We saw Pearl Jam. We had Taylor Swift coming over. So yeah, you name it. It's not isolated that way. And then if you do have time during your holidays over Christmas, because of course it's our summer, there's a lot of things to go and visit in Western Australia. So we've got the animals, for example, the black swan, and the black swan is actually native of Perth. And then we've got great surfing. This is 3 hours south of Perth. Last week we had the World Championships surfing, and Leonardo Fiorenti was there, and very big waves. And then we've got some amazing sites if you are keen to go and visit. And the advantage of the city of Perth, as I said, is the airport is not very far. So there you go. Here we go. So thank you, Julia. Thank you very much for the opportunity to address all the students.
Thank you very much. I really want to travel to go to Perth as soon as possible. It's really a nice, a lovely city, a great destination, very suitable for students, even if they're young. It's not so hectic. So I think it's really the perfect location where a student can take a gap year. So, well, now we can have some room for questions if there are any. C'è qualche dubbio, qualche domanda? Altrimenti, se volete, io posso condividere di nuovo il mio schermo con voi e dove trovate i miei contatti. Un attimo solo. Ecco qua. Ecco, questi qua sono i nostri contatti, quindi questo è il mio indirizzo diretto, quindi giulia@obiettivolingua.it, questo è il nostro numero di telefono, per cui se avete dei dubbi, delle domande, qualche informazione in più, senza problemi mi fate un colpo di telefono oppure mi mandate una mail e possiamo organizzare poi anche una conversazione un pochino più personalizzata per venire incontro alle vostre domande oppure dei dubbi, perché ogni persona comunque ha delle esigenze particolari ed è importante anche dare una consulenza quanto più personalizzata. Ok, well, thank you very much again, Oliver, for your presentation. It was very exhaustive and interesting, and we can keep in touch if there are many people, as I hope, that are willing to come to Perth. I'm the first of them. I really want to go there now. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you very
Look forward
much.
to it. Thank you.
Thanks. Grazie mille
Goodbye,
a tutti
everyone.
Grazie mille a tutti di aver partecipato al nostro incontro e ci riaggiorniamo. Ah, ok, grazie mille Patrizia. Ok, perfect. Thank you. Arrivederci a tutti. Buona serata. Salve.